Hello and welcome to Eat Your Backyard. It's been a little while since I've made a podcast, but I'm back and I've got lots of new ideas. Quick update on the channel, we're now up to 9,500 subscribers and that's pretty cool. I want to thank everybody for subscribing. But let's get to the good stuff. What's going on back here? Well, first of all, it's July 4th, actually. Happy birthday, America. And this point in the summer, we're seeing nice green grass. Now, if you've seen any of the videos from earlier this year, in the winter, the spring, the grass was looking pretty beat. I actually ended up doing a lot of weeding, and it paid off. And I did some renourishment of the grass. You can see it's filled in pretty well. Some bare spots here and there. I really should throw some topsoil in there. It'll just go off. But the trick is good irrigation. Didn't really fertilize it this year. Try not to use too much fertilizer. And now I've got a nice green carpet for the kids to play on. But you know, I walked out this morning and I realized there was practically a catastrophe that had occurred. Look at this. What? Banana tree collapse. Total collapse. Yeah, I wonder why. Look at that. Oh boy. That is some delicious looking bananas. Man, they're good. And no problem, probably some bruised bananas underneath, but that sucker is ready to harvest. That was just so much weight that it made the whole banana tree collapse. Now it was already leaning over pretty severely, but you know, it finally came down. So I guess it's time to pick the bananas. The tree is actually, the plant's still alive, but you know, the bananas are ready to go. That's a happy day. You know, I had a friend that said he planted a banana tree. 2 years later, it still hadn't produced bananas, and he was going to sell his house. He said the day that he was getting ready to leave, he noticed that a hand of bananas had grown, and that's the moral of the story is it takes a little while. But one thing he could have done, I recommended, was to go ahead and take some pups. Like, look at this championship level pup right here. These little shoots that grow off on the side. Now, this is not a good spot for it, right? Because it's outside of this little lame wall I built. So I got some choices here. I can either extend the wall around it, which is probably what I'll end up doing, or I could cut it and put it back in here. Now I've done that with some other pups this year. Oh, look at these weeds. Tell you, your work is never done. They make good mulch. These little pups I planted from just little cuttings I took off the base like this one. So they just grew off the base. And I planted them here, and now they're growing. Now, it took a while for them to get set up and really start doing what they do. But now, they're definitely established. They're starting to grow. And I'll have an expanded banana patch. You know, I had to severely trim this patch back during Hurricane Matthew because, well, it was growing up into those power lines, and I kind of like power, and I knew that it was going to be slapping against the lines in 100-mile-an-hour wind for some amount of time. So I trimmed it back, but now's the time of regrowth, rebirth, and it is growing quite well. And you can see even where I stumped there's an area here where I stumped it. Now I've got beautiful little pups growing up everywhere there too, and they'll really be the strongest growers. It takes a while for these transplanted pups to take root and get going, but when you have banana plants like that at the base, when you see that, you know you're going to get something strong. So what else is happening back here in the jungle? You might remember this is also an area that I remulched, you know, significantly. I thinned out significantly. This is a jungly little area that I constructed for my kids about 20 years ago, which they love. It's got a fort up here, and even got a ladder up to a trap door, pulley systems, etc., etc. And you know, over the years, I've done a lot of things to this area. But it's just like a tropical little jungle, and I've tried to keep it open enough that you can actually get in there. Problem with the jungle is it's a jungle. You need a machete to get through it. So I don't really want that, but create little fun little paths to be able to walk back through. There's the remnants of my bamboo bridge, which I still need to deal with. It's a lot of bamboo. But anyway, yeah, this area is doing pretty well. You can see my mulberry trees, which I've grown a lot of them. I probably had at one point 15 mulberry trees in my yard. They are just doing very well. I've got them along my fence here and there. I could grow 1,000 mulberry trees if I wanted to. They're so easy to grow. You just kind of take the stick and jam it in the dirt. But anyway, so that's doing well. Now, here's something that I dared to plant, which is a strong grower, and that's the sea grape. You can see, sea grape just has a massive leaf size on it. And you can also maybe notice that the redness in the spine might be better. It's the light there, if you can see that red. Yeah, they actually used the sap for Native Americans used the sap for making red dye, which is very interesting to me. Colors in nature, but. The sea grape is something that will just grow into an absolute beast if you don't trim it. It actually responds very well to, oh, look at the redness in that. Isn't that cool? It actually responds very well to trimming. So as it grows here and there, I've trimmed it back. You can see I topped it right here because it was just getting crazy big. Hold on, my buddy showed up. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Are you okay? Well, he seems upset. Okay, so anyhow, sometimes you introduce yourself, people grow to like you. Or otherwise. Look at this. Giant lily. I trimmed this so far back not too long ago. And now it's coming back very strongly and producing beautiful giant lily flower. Look at the size of these things. Is that incredible? Now, these are very easy to grow. And in fact, they'll grow all around here from where they drop seeds. I've had to pull a lot of them up. Here's the flower before it blooms. Gigantic. Most things will respond pretty well to trimming. And this is one of them. I love the giant lily. I've got another one over here that's the purple variety that I trimmed way back, so it's just getting huge, and it's in the process of kind of coming back. That'll get just as big and produce a different kind of more purple flower. Now, one thing is I used to have a giant papaya tree. Well, that thing grew over years all the way up and was right at this 220 line. So that wasn't a good situation, and right at the point where I was wondering, what the heck am I going to do with this thing? The hurricane came, Hurricane Matthew, and put it down directly in the perfect spot. I'm glad it didn't wreck my neighbor's very nice fence. Right through here, and I was able to get rid of it. It broke my sprinkler system underneath the ground, and I had to repair all that, but I was happy to do it because it had fallen in a way that I didn't have to deal with it or have somebody else come and deal with it. That's what I was probably going to do because of it being so close to the power. But the interesting thing was, over the years, it dropped lots of seeds, of course, and look at that. That's the seeds. What the seeds did, it grew a little papaya tree. Now that's going to get gigantic eventually, but it's off to a good start, growing well. And in fact, there are more. You see, there's some here, which I could transplant, and I'll probably transplant and grow other places. It's another one, little papaya. Here's some more. And that's really just the art of looking around and seeing what your yard gives you in terms of being able to grow other plants. Like this, for instance. These sucker croton sprouts growing at the bottom. See, it's actually grown beneath the soil here. That's where the roots will be. This is going to be your best chance for growing another croton plant. And I probably will because I love this gold dust croton. I mean, it's just amazingly awesome. Look at that. It's like you can almost think that was a fake plant. It's so cool looking, and it wouldn't be anything real. But yeah, I like to mix up the colors, and of course the crotons do well in a low sun area, and they just add that incredible color range. These are pretty common ones, but I mean, wow. Are you kidding me? pretty cool. My tree-formed Dracaenas are always going off. I've grown these over the years. I got about 5 different varieties. Made many videos about how to propagate them, but I mean, this is the point where they're really just going off. And if you add different ones in, you know, you add some of the, like this one, the Song of India, with the Song of Jamaica, with a regular green one, with a tricolor, you just start to get an interesting combo. And of course, you know, no area is complete without having an edible canopy, in my world. Why would you do it any other way? Well, this is a Barbados cherry, and it doesn't have too many cherries on it right now, but there are cherries on it that are green and coming in, and we'll get to those later. Alright, so this is actually kind of interesting. Check out this fig tree. This is a fig tree that I grew from a cutting off a fig tree. I'll show you in a sec. And it's just grown beautifully. It's got figs on it. Beautiful little figs that'll come in and grow. Yeah, just took a cutting off of it, just like I was talking about with that croton. Now this stuff, this is the bane of my existence. That's my pile. This is what they call Mexican petunia. Never, ever, ever even consider planting it. You'll never get rid of it. I mean, I don't know what would ever accomplish getting rid of this stuff, but it grows under the ground, suckers. See, every time I break it, I actually make more plants. But I've just resolved myself to have to continuously pull it up, and I guess that's what I do now. Or else this whole area will become a morass of that, and I don't really want that. They produce these cool purple flowers, but they're really not that cool if that's all there is in your world. So, well, here's a cool little type of croton that continues to cling to life that I bought years ago. I went through a phase where I was just propagating every kind of croton that I could find, and that's a lot of fun to do. Here's dreadlock croton that's struggling to come back. It was very shaded out at one point. You see, it has these long dreadlock-like leaves on it. Still worth a go. Now let's go over and take a look at that fig tree. The big fig tree. Oh boy. It is loaded with figs. I mean, absolutely loaded. And the funny thing is, these figs are ripe. That's just fine, just like that. And you can tell because they get a little soft. Look at that. Not bad. Look at that fig. That's a winner. I always check, you know, there's a little hole at the bottom on these figs. Some figs have openings in the bottom. Make sure that opening's not open, because what happens is once it's open, it can definitely start to get bugs in it. This one looks like it's got some little flies flying around. And look, open. So I'm going to take that one on. Now it's mulch. But yeah, tons of figs. I could sit down here and eat figs all day. Here's a place we had a little turtle we caught that we were in for a while. He got out, which is good, but I'm growing a little parsley, and I also just jammed in some sticks from mulberries, and here you go. They grow. It's 3 mulberry trees. 1, 2, 3. So easy to grow. So incredibly easy to grow. Oh, look what we got here. Society garlic. A little bit more parsley. But yeah, actually garlic and onions, most of them produce these beautiful flowers, and I think they keep away the pests too. Brazilian pepper tree, gotta go. Yeah. Cool purple flowers, but if you were to rub your fingers on this stuff, you know, it's going to smell just like garlic. Well, because it is garlic. So you could actually dig it up and eat it. But society garlic is just a cool option. I wouldn't plant it by your window of your house, because unless you really love the smell of raw garlic, it's probably going to be kind of a bummer. Alright, let's see what else is happening. Yeah, so a Cavendish banana. Oh, this is interesting. This is a rosewood tree. I think no. This is Chinese tallow tree. These are really invasive. They grow very easily. It's actually a fun tree to grow. It's not that hard to get rid of, but they'll produce it in northern Florida. It's like crazy. They're out of control. But you know, it's a non-indigenous, what might be considered an invasive tree, but it actually produces a cool little well-shaped tree if you can control it. So I don't know, proceed at your own risk with that one. Oh, look at this. He's got no tail. Interesting. Well, the Cavendish banana tree, I'm glad I decided to plant it here. It's starting to really go off now, and that's going to produce a beautiful stand of bananas. The cool thing about putting it there is that it doesn't get that tall. This tree will get maybe 6 feet at the tallest, unlike those Musa bananas, which are just massive. They get 15, 20 feet tall. This is much smaller, good application for right here, and also has this really cool variegated pattern in the leaves, which I love. So it's a pretty one. Mangoes already came in, so the mangoes are pretty much mostly done. I've got buddies who still have them coming in, but for me they're mostly done. This one we knew we weren't going to get any mangoes off this year because we did a severe trim of it. The Starfruit tree, wow, holy moly, it is going off. I predict lots of Starfruit this Christmas. That's when they generally come in. It's around December. We trimmed it way back for Matthew, and it didn't mind it one bit. It's now healthier than ever and actually much more attractive looking. Mulberries this year on this tree, it didn't really produce that well. I think it's getting a little tired. I've been growing this one as a canopy for a while. They really like to be trimmed, so if you want to get a good result, you got to kind of trim it back. So this next spring, I'll trim it way back and let it resprout, kind of regenerate itself. I'll probably hit it with some fish down at the base, and it'll go well. Not bananas, lemons. Lemons, we got some of them, not a lot. We had to trim this one way back too, and it sprouted some lemons, but it's kind of a rebirth year for that one too. Lately we've been getting a lot of the Chinese lantern fruit, and you can see there's still some growing. That's good to eat. But these come in and they back off, but generally this is one that's kind of ever-bearing throughout the year. You just never know when they're going to be on there. Now, you know that Mexican petunia I was telling you about? This is what they look like when they're a little bigger. The bummer about it flowering like this is now it's going to produce seeds. So I got to come in here and get rid of this. Unfortunately, it's such a pain. I made one mistake of planting it. Grew really easily, and now it's forever my little friend, but I'll back that out here pretty well. I got some weeding I need to do back here. Now, one thing is, I planted a little backdrop of Nepalese cactus, edible cactus along here, and that is just absolutely going off. All of these cactus pads are growing like crazy. Every single place I planted them, there's a sprout cactus pad growing, just really easy to grow. Probably need to pay some attention here as well. And here's sugarcane. I way cut back what I had for sugarcane. It's now down to this one clump, but that'll produce a lot of canes, so that's going to be fun. This is interesting. This is a very tired hibiscus plant, which I stumped, and now it's coming back. Typically is what happens is it runs out of vigor and then reinvigorates once you stump it and give it some fertilizer. So anyway, that's what's going on in my backyard. Hope everything's going well in your backyard. I've got some new series planned for the channel that go off in some more philosophical directions you might enjoy, but I'll be posting that as part of a separate series on Eat Your Backyard. See what you think about it. But thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Love to see your comments and be able to interact with the Eat Your Backyard community. So thanks for watching Eat Your Backyard. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you like it. Thanks for watching.